a little video, and she's like, heck nah. She's like, I ate 2 bites, and she's like, and I thought about it. She's like, I took out every little corn from there. And I said, what? I said, you're crazy. I said, but that's good, because that's called control, you know? The thing is, the good thing about understanding and managing your body is that you know what's going to create that flare. You know what's going to create that pus or that drainage. That is the whole point of what we do, because you know what caused that reaction in your body. It's not the unknown. You know, I go through these groups and I hear all these people say, why, you know, why is this happening to me? Why am I, you know, flaring like this out of control? And all I see people say is, well, maybe it's your hormones. Maybe it's your stress. Maybe it's, you know, this. Maybe it's that. You know what? Go look for a doctor. See what kind of surgery there is. And I'm like, man, I hear a lot of maybes, but nobody knows. But what these 2 young ladies have is they know. They know that eating that potato or eating that tomato, she's going to get a reaction. She learned it. She learned it the hard way, but she learned it. The other young lady, she knows that that corn's going to trigger something. So she's like, you know what? F that. I'm not going to risk it. I'm doing way too good. I'm happy with my body right now. I don't want to feel that pain. So she took the time to go ahead and take all those little craniums out. And so those are things where, you know, that shows me, you know, these women are willing to go ahead and it's not easy. Eating like this is not easy. But I'm not going to say it's 100% that you're not going to have a setback, because you will. Because there's going to be little things that we overlook all the time. Because I still do. I still do to this day. And I'm very honest about that. I tell everybody. But you don't give up. Because there's too much progress that can happen. And if we give up, we all know what that looks like. And it's pretty bad. I don't want that to happen to you. You've come too far to take those steps back. So I did talk to some new individuals. I got a lot of new individuals. And man, a lot of them are kids. And to me, kids are like, I'm almost 40. So when I think of kids like within their 20s and below. And so I get all these little youngins that are in college, that are in school. And they're texting me right before they go into class. They're texting me right when they're getting out of school. And it's like, man, it's hard. It's hard to hear their stories. But I'm glad that I'm the one that is able to try to help them with what their situation is. So with this one young lady, she had got a coffee, she ate a taco, and she ate Panda Express. And then she had woke up to boils in the morning right before school. And so I told her, all right, well, do you know if you're dairy sensitive? And she's like, I believe I am, but, you know, I don't think I get a reaction from it. I was like, oh, man. Yeah, you do get a reaction, mama. Sorry. I said, you do get a reaction from it because that's why you got your boil. I said, so we went over coffee options, you know, and I post a lot about coffee because that is the one thing that everybody drinks. And coffee is like the one thing everybody drinks throughout the day, you know, cold coffee, hot coffee, mocha or cappuccinos, frappuccinos. So it's like, you name it, coffee's like in all kinds of stuff. But once you change it from black coffee, that black coffee becomes real quickly something else that your body can't handle when we start adding dairies and stuff. It's like the little mama that I talked to. I talked to a mother, I think the day before yesterday, and her son was struggling with HS. He's HS3, and she's like, no, my son is gluten-free, dairy-free. And when I went over like what he ate, I'm like, oh my God, this poor young man eats like a little bird. You know, he don't eat no bread. He don't enjoy no mayonnaise. He doesn't, or he did enjoy mayonnaise, but he doesn't enjoy anything else as far as like sweets, candies, and like all kinds of stuff, you know. And I was like, gosh, I'm so glad I met you, because I'm gonna open up your son's mind. I'm gonna blow his mind right now. I'm gonna blow your mind too, because that's what I like to do. I like to let you know, like, man, I can eat all this, and I'm not gonna get a reaction. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna show you what you can and cannot eat. I'm going to show you first what you can't, but I'm going to bring those little pouty spirits up, and I'm going to show you what you can, and I'm going to make you powerful. because it's a powerful thing to know that you can eat this stuff. All you're just doing is removing some things that are making you feel ill. And so when I asked her, you know, well, what did your son eat? You know, because I usually ask for either that day or the day before, because I'll know by what you eat within the last 2 days why you're sick, why you're pussing, why your boil surfaced. And she's like, well, my son, you know, gluten-free, dairy-free, and he drank coffee. Oh, no, she said, at first she said he ate eggs. I said, oh, okay. So eggs, were they seasoned? No. Did you cook them in butter, oil? She's like, well, they were in butter, but they were gluten-free, dairy-free butter. I said, oh, perfect. Sounds good. You know, no concern. I'm like, nothing else with that? She's like, no, nothing else. So then she starts to, you know, go into the lunch menu. And I said, wait. I didn't get a response for what did he drink? You know, because we all eat and we all have to drink something, because I can't be just eating food and not have anything to, you know, chug it down with or put it under. And she's like, oh, he drank coffee. I said, oh, okay. I said, coffee. Was it black? Was it, you know, with cream? She goes, no, he doesn't, you know, dairy sensitive. Like, he doesn't eat dairy. I said, okay. I said, does he drink the substitutes? And I don't think I got a response. So that just lets me know, like, oh, they're substitutes. I didn't even know. So those are, like, the assumptions I go through. And so then I said, you know what? I said coffee, black coffee, and eggs. I said, that's weird. I said, you know what? Let me know the brand of that coffee. So she's like, better yet, she sends me the picture of it. I said, oh, snap. Now I already know. I go, that coffee has barley in it. I said, it has organic barley. I said, that's wheat. I said, that's gluten. And she's like, what? Oh, my God, I didn't know that. I said, yeah, that's gluten. I said, that's why your sons are already, like, kind of dying in the morning, you know, and slagging all day, because that coffee started them off wrong. So she didn't know. And those are little oversights, you know, because, again, I'm still guilty of it. It took me a lot to really learn gluten-free lifestyle. And so when I hear a lot of people say, like, today I was talking to a young lady, she just had surgery, or not just recently, but she had surgery a while back. And I think she's listening in. So welcome to my life. And I saw your pictures and I'm like, man, I wish I had met you before you took your surgery. Because these changes that you're about to learn, if you stay with me, you're going to learn a lot. And so the Miss Mama that I talked to, you know, she's going to go ahead and work on, I showed her all kinds of food that he can eat, sour creams, what was it? It was dairy-free sour cream and cream cheeses. She's like, oh yeah, my son loves all this, but we just thought that he couldn't eat it. I'm like, oh no, he can eat it, but he just needs to change the ingredients that are in it. So she's like, wow, I had never been talked to about this. I've never been told any of this. And I said, oh, me neither. But I sure did get presented with surgery right away. And that's all I ever got presented with. If it wasn't pills, it was injections. If it wasn't injections, it was a surgery. But never have I ever had a conversation with any of my doctors or my PCPs or whatever the heck they're called, you know, about nutrition, about what we eat. And so, it was good. It was good to have that aha moment with her. So I look forward to talking to her because, oh, she started scanning her ingredients. I sent her the app, or I gave her a picture of the gluten-free app. It's a free app that you download on your phone, and it looks for gluten contents when you're buying groceries. And so I told her, download it. Go into your pantry right now and start just scanning stuff and look at the amazement of all the stuff in your pantry that has gluten. I said, because, man, when I downloaded that thing and I went into my pantry, I almost threw my whole entire pantry away. Everything was gluten. And I didn't know. I didn't know that was making my son sick. I had to connect the dots. I had to slow down and do the research and understand what are the effects of gluten. And everything just connected. And it was crazy because I reached out to a support group, right? And I said, you know, is it okay if I talk about my group? Because I know that y'all let this other group talk about their group, but that group talks about surgeries and whatnot. And they're like, well, no, we can't have you talk about your group. And I was like, oh. And she's like, and the reason why, after she questioned me about, you know, is your son okay with you sharing his pictures? I said, yeah, if you go to my website, you're going to see there's a video of me and him talking about his life and how we share it. And then her thing was, well, you know, your research is your research. You know, we need it from a doctor. And I'm like, okay. I'm like, so like all the people before us back in the day, you know, they didn't have no certificates. They didn't have no labels back then. They were just people who looked into stuff, to find cures, to find solutions. You know, the person who, like, you know, created light, electricity. The people who created, you know, just design stuff, you know. Back then, they didn't have certificates. But, oh, we can't take the voice of someone who actually looked into it and has proven to show healing for one person amongst others that are also healing. But they're like, no, because, you know, this and this. And then they come back with, well, I'm the author of this and I'm the author of that. And I did this and I worked with who. I'm like, I don't care. I really don't. Because people are still in the same situation that they were in since this darn thing came out. And there's been no change. The only thing I've seen that's been changing is what operation. Because there's all kinds of operations out there that I didn't even know about. But I didn't know about nothing about dietitian. And this dietitian process or this new way of living and eating, man, that's what's helping my son's progress and to maintain his progress, all amongst others that are, you know, joining in. So I said, oh, okay, you know, thank you. Thank you for your feedback. I'm good. I wasn't mad, you know. Everybody to each to their own, you know. So, let me see. I talked to another young lady. She had a salad. And I said, a salad, okay. And that salad had Italian dressing. And the reason I talked to her is because I had reached out to her the day, I think, before. And she had questions, or she wanted pictures of my my son's progress pics. And I said, yeah, you know, if you have HS and you want to see his progress, I don't have any problem sharing it. I don't put it on my personal profile because it's more of a, one is a need-to-know basis, and two, not everybody's going to understand this disease or illness. So as far as sharing it with amongst others that have this same condition, I have no problem with, because those are the people who truly understand, you know. And so when she saw it, I said, you know, what's going on? She's like, well, I just got out of the ER, you know, on her leg, her thigh. One of her boils had, I guess, opened up, and it was pretty big. I said, man, that sucks. I said, well, let me ask you, what did you eat? Because something contributed to that, you know, explosion on your thigh. And that's when she brought up her salad. And I said, oh, okay. I said, Italian dressing. I said, your Italian dressing actually has milk in it. And she didn't know that. And it has bell peppers. Bell peppers are a lectin. I said, so, yeah, I'm pretty sure you have sensitivities toward lectins, which is going to be potato, tomato, peppers, peanuts. And then the main thing is going to be gluten, you know, because that's one of the highest ones in the lectin family. So gluten, I didn't even know, is actually part of the lectin crowd. But because some of the people who have celiac disease don't have issues with lectins, they gave it its own category, which is gluten. So research, anything that alters something, that doesn't affect something, creates another something. And it doesn't make sense when I say it, but it makes plenty of sense to me because I've dissected this to just dissected. So I told her, yeah, you know, this is what you're having issues with, and this is why you had, you know, that explosion. And so when she shared a picture of how her thigh was bandaged, and I said, oh, wow, that's not even, you know, I understand I'm working with young adults, and it sucks because these doctors don't even tell you how to take care of your wound. You know, wound care is very important, very, very important, because that's the way that you're not going to get infected. And that's the way that these boils, these open lesions, aren't going to get worse. And so when I would take those lunch and learn virtual